Yo, what is up, boys? So today I wanted to answer a question that a lot of people ask me all the time. So I wanted to make a dedicated video for it and show you guys what the answer is. So the question is, obviously, what is better for melee after the update? Is it Black Flame Longsword or is it the Gluttonous Longsword? And I went ahead and I did a test just to show you guys what I mean when I say what I say. So the one that you're seeing on screen right now is the Gluttonous Longsword. So I'm going to do 2 runs of the Black Lady Bishop because I believe this is one of the best bosses to do this on, because she basically stands still the entire time. So it's one of the few bosses in the game that has enough HP to actually be able to do any kind of testing on, and she stands still long enough that you can just sit here, and as you see, I'm just wailing on her. I'm literally just mashing E, and you really don't have to worry about anything. It's like you just DPS her down. So I chose this boss specifically for this because she kind of just sits there and takes it, and that's what we need. We just need something that we can sit here and press our abilities on and just do damage and see what the differences are. So as you guys see, I'm using the I'm using the Gluttonous Longsword right here, and I'm running a very interesting build, right? I'm running Jericho, which most people don't usually run with Meliodas, and I'll get into why I'm doing that a little bit. But as you guys can see, I'm running Jericho, Daisy, and Tiori. I'm running a team that you would normally run if you're doing the raid, right? I specifically didn't run like Hauser here because I wanted to run a team that would very much be like, hey, this is what you'll be running to actually clear the raid. So as you see, I killed the boss, and now I'm going to switch over to the Black Flame Wings Longsword. A little bit of loading screen here, and once I load in, you guys will see that literally the only thing I change is 2 things. So I go into my teams, I go into my melee, and all I do is I switch the Gluttonous Longsword for the Black Flame one. And that's all I do on melee. That's it. That's all I do. And then I go and I switch my Jericho for Hauser. Why? Because when you're running the Black Flame Wings Longsword, you want Hauser so you can do even more burst damage in that window. Those are the only 2 changes I do, and the reason I do those 2 changes is because that's what's optimal for this team, right? It's not optimal to run Jericho in a team comp like this. You want to be running Hauser for that extra damage. So as you guys can see, I skipped to the part where I'm just on the Lady Bishop already. As you guys can see, I'm already doing massive amounts of damage. So people are going to see this automatically and go, wow, well, the choice is clear. Like, it's Black Flame Wings Longsword. Like, that's it. Like, we saw it right there. Like, look how much damage you did. Like, she's already half HP. Well, let the video play out, right? So as you guys can see, I'm going to combo ult again. And whenever I do this, obviously I'm going to chunk her again for even more damage, because that's just what Black Flame Wings Longsword does. Like, look at all the damage I'm doing, like, holy. Alright, then we go back, we get some more magic gauge. We're just going in, we're popping our abilities, and we're getting more magic gauge, and we're also just wasting a little bit of time because our last D is like still on cooldown. Now we're good. We get to press our last ability. Now we get to QE spam, dodge a little bit here, and she's dead, right? So now everybody's probably thinking, well, Black Flame Wings, that's the answer. Look how much more damage you did. Well, now let's put them side by side. And I put it so that both of them, the Daisy lands first strike at the exact same frame. Okay, so we are literally starting the fight at the exact same time. So they're both side by side. On the left is going to be the Gluttonous Longsword. On the right is going to be the Black Flame Wings Longsword. So as you can see, the Gluttonous Longsword is not doing as much damage. However, look at the second burst. You see how with the second burst, it's catching up to the Black Flame Wings Longsword, and I actually passed it on the left side. But now, obviously, Black Flame Wings, I'm about to burst again. So it's going to go again, and he's about to start chunking. But on the left, the Gluttonous is going to go, and they're going to start going ahead, and they're going to start catching up. So the reason why both of these are so close, and a lot closer than probably anybody else was thinking, is because when you're running Gluttonous, you want an initial burst and then combo ult afterwards. This is something a lot of people get wrong. They try to run the Gluttonous team with the same team that you run from Black Flame Wings. And as you guys can see, Black Flame Wings wins, but like 2 seconds. And I'll show you guys my enchants in a bit. I'll actually pop it up on screen as this is playing while I'm editing. My enchant on my Black Flame Wings Longsword is actually much better than my enchant on my Gluttonous Longsword. So those 2 seconds could be literally contributed to just my enchant just being better, right? Obviously, it's not 1-to-1. I can't really make it 1-to-1. So if you want to say, oh, well, Black Flame's better, well, not really, because Black Flame also has a significantly better enchant than my Gluttonous Longsword, and the time was 2 seconds. Which, if I had darkness damage on my Gluttonous Longsword, I can only imagine the amount of damage. Like, I would probably clear the Black Flames by like 10 seconds or maybe 15. So my point of showing you guys this video is driving home the point that I was making, where when you play Gluttonous, you want to play Gluttonous when you're pressing E a lot, and then you're playing a team that is built around that. So you are not going to run the exact same team you run whenever you run Black Flame Wings Longsword, right? You're not running the Zac team, right? Zac runs the Hauser, Daisy, Tiore whenever he does the raid. You're not running that team. You're going to run Jericho instead of Hauser, so you get an extra burst off, and then you combo ult off that burst. Why? So you can stack the passive and then get more and more value from that passive. So I'm going to go ahead right now, and I'm going to run a run with the Gluttonous Longsword, and I'm going to use the Zac team, right? I'm going to use Hauser, Daisy, Tiore, and I'm not going to use the proper team you're supposed to use for this, just to show you guys the massive difference in damage if you just run the wrong team, and this is probably why most people think this Longsword is still bad. So as you guys can see, I'm sitting here, I'm killing the Lady Bishop. I killed my audio because I was listening to my white girl music while I was doing this, and that is very much copyrighted. So instead, you guys are going to listen to my voice and my boy Nefex in the background at very low volume. So sorry about that, but had to listen to my Kesha while I was doing this. That's how I lock in. But as you guys can see, I'm doing the normal Zac combo. I'm not doing my last E, just so that I can build up my ult gauge really quick and then go back in and go back into the combo. So if anyone's asking why I'm not doing the last E, that's why. I don't want to waste more time than I have to. I'm going to go ahead and just go right back into the combo and not fully refund my E with that last E. So I just don't do the last E, so I get my E fully refunded. And right here you see that I'm going to do it because it's going to kill her. And right there, it doesn't look too bad. So let's go ahead and let's put them side by side so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. So on the left is going to be the Gluttonous with the proper team, which is with a burst character, Jericho. And on the right is going to be the clip that you just saw. And they're side by side. So they are going to be exactly the same frame. I made sure that each of them starts the exact same time that Daisy first hits the Lady Bishop with her basic attack to proc First Strike and Electromagnet. So as you can see already, on the left side, the one with the proper team is already at half HP, and the one on the right is just reaching half HP with this burst right now. And they didn't even actually reach half HP, it was like 55%. And as you can see, the one on the left is already doing its second burst window. And we are almost done on the left side. And we're doing our third burst window now on the right side. And we're just past the 50% HP threshold. That's great. That's fantastic. Looks like Black Flame Wings, Gluttonous on the left is already dead. Looks like she'll be dead right now. And we'll put a timer up and we'll see how long it takes for an improper team of the Gluttonous Longsword to kill this Lady Bishop. So looks like we're on our fourth or fifth burst now of Gluttonous, and I think this is the one that actually kills. Yep, here it is. Okay, so we are at 18 seconds, and I went ahead and I stopped both timers whenever it's popped up defeat elite monsters. So just having the wrong team increases the time to 18 seconds. It's an 18-second difference, which is huge, because if you think about it, the difference between Black Flame and Gluttonous when they're both running their proper teams was 2 seconds. Now when you're running an improper team for the Gluttonous, it goes up to an 18-second. That's 9 times longer, right? Just from running an improper team. And this is what I wanted to emphasize today, guys. Like, the Gluttonous is good. It is not bad anymore. People are just running the wrong teams with it. You guys are trying to force the Zac team with the Gluttonous Longsword, and it's just not going to work. That's just not how the passive works. You need to run a team that is built around that passive, which means you need a corresponding burst character to do an initial burst so you could stack that passive, then you combo ult, and then you already have the passive stacked up fully ready to go, and you're just whipping out massive amounts of damage. And that's how you actually properly use the Gluttonous Longsword. And when it's used properly, it can actually outperform the Black Flame Wings Longsword, and in certain situations do just as much damage as the Black Flame Wings Longsword. Now people are always going to be like, well, if it's so good, why do all the speedrunners always run Black Flame? Because all the speedrunners always kill stuff in 2 or 3 seconds, right? So we are killing stuff in 1E, 2E, maybe 3Es, right? So like right now, Urgot's the big one that everyone's using with Meliodas, and we're killing it in 1E. Right, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put a run that Zach sent me where he did a really fast run of Urgot, and as you guys can see, he kills it in 1E, a single E. So obviously the Gluttonous Longsword is not going to have any opportunity to stack that passive because the Black Flame is just instant boom dead, right? That's why speedrunners are using the Black Flame for the most part, right? You guys, the most average players, dolphins, low spenders, free to plays, are most likely not killing everything in just 1, 2, 3 Es, right? You guys are going and doing your full rotations. You're probably combo ulting afterwards, doing even more Es after that, right? You guys can get full value from the Gluttonous Longsword that speedrunners cannot, because we simply kill things too fast. The only reason I was even able to do this showcase was because the raid is out, and these bosses have so much HP, they actually live long enough to demonstrate that these two weapons are actually both good. They just serve different niches, right? So the niche for the Black Flame Wings Longsword is if you have a P9 or extremely built out P7 melee, you're almost always going to run the Black Flames Longsword unless you're running melee in the raid. Then you're going to run the Gluttonous. However, if you are a more free-to-play melee, a P4, a P5, you're almost always going to be using the Gluttonous Longsword. Now, that being said, if you already have a 6-star Black Flame Wings Longsword and you don't have a 6-star Glut, and you're like, oh, well, now do I gotta invest, more SSR tokens to a Gluttonous? No, you could don't do it, right? It's not worth it. As you saw, like the damage difference was 2 seconds, right? So it's not worth it. If you already have one built out, go ahead, keep it. It's fine. We'll move on. Not a big deal. However, this is more for people who are on the fence or who already did both, right? There are plenty of people who already built out a 6-star Gluttonous Longsword and probably just have it rotting in their bags, and they're just not using it and they're not salvaging it because you don't get any more SSR shards. This is for you guys, right? Like that sword is still useful. You can use it. You don't have to use the Black Flame Wings, right? So just wanted to make that video. Wanted to show my little test. That's really it for you guys today. I just wanted to show you guys a more in-depth explanation as to the answer that I always give people, which is if you're a speedrunner and you kill things in 2 or 3 Es, use the Black Flame Wings Longsword. If you're not killing things in 1 or 2, 3 Es, and you have to do all 5 Es in order to start killing something, you're going to want to run the Gluttonous. And that's going to be true every single time, ever since the patch. So, hope you guys found this helpful. Have a good rest of your day.